So, Florin, thanks for joining us. Now, Florin, Fillip, you're an accomplished strategist and digital technologist. I love those words. 20 years of experience in IT and director at CGI Innovation Centre in Montreal. You're actually a recognised thought leader, aren't you, in emerging technologies and a sort of evangelist within the domains of IoT, you know, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and also robotic process automation. I find this area exciting, and we've done some stuff in Marata, but you're obviously really hooked into this. As you look across the sort of technology innovation landscape, if you like, what are the current efforts on tackling quantum threat market wide, including government and science efforts?
So, you know, piggyback on what Bob said, I see a little bit like, you know, we live in Canada, and you know, that is the time to change our winter tires. And you have people that they will do it right away because it's nice outside and they feel that there is the time to do it and they want to be, you know, first there. And there are people that they will wait till, you know, the government is saying, hey, now is the time you are allowed to do it. So in the market, you will see a little bit the same approach. You have organizations that they are actually looking into, you know, quantum and quantum security, and they start looking and they have seen that, for instance, now you have quantum platforms available. You have Microsoft that, you know, just announced that there is a quantum development kit that you can download, so you can actually start playing. You know, I think that we have more than 200,000 people that they have downloaded, you know, the quantum development kit and play with it. And I saw organizations that they say, hey, there is an opportunity for us to actually, you know, start digging into that. Start, as I said, you know, start changing our tires, our old, you know, security tires, with put in new security tires. I think that in the market, the way that I have seen it and talking, you know, with multiple clients, I will say that probably the financial, you know, sector is really ahead. And I saw that because I think that, you know, it's easy. They know that they will be the first target when, you know, the time will come. Yes. I also see, you know, government, because it's you know, just natural. They want and they need to protect all the data that is there. So I will say that on those two probably sectors, there is more initiative. I think that there are a couple of challenges that the market is facing today. And, you know, again, sounds a little bit, you know, how I say, foolish, but the first challenge, I think that it's an education challenge. So there are a lot of, you know, there are a lot of CIOs out there that for them, you know, quantum key distribution and post-quantum algorithms are the same, you know, one and the same thing. And it's not true. And that's how they say, okay, let's wait till, you know, quantum computing will be there, and there we'll have access, you know, to a key distribution and so on. And hey, there are systems that you can actually take advantage right now. And I think that that's, you know, for me, the education part, and there is a lot on that. And really glad to be on this panel with all the great minds here, because this is part of this effort for me, for the market. There are also, you know, implementation issues, because even if the, you know, the quantum protocols are secure, real systems may still possess, you know, side channels, security vulnerabilities, and you need, especially if, you know, the implementation deviates from the models, you know, the architectural models that you need to put in place. So I think that that's one element. Also, I think that in the future, probably the post-quantum, you know, cryptography standards will have multiple algorithms for different applications. So there, you know, in the application world, there is quite a challenge, because you will have to you know, especially for the actual applications, you need to make sure that the signature, you know, is not a problem for some application, is not a problem for the others. You will need to actually change them. I will say that probably, you know, the implementation of new application will need, you know, to actually will shape a little bit, you know, the future of application, you know, standards there. So the quantum security will really shape the future of, you know, application standards. And of course that there are things like, you know, security standards, procedures. We have seen now, you know, zero trust that is in place and everybody is putting in place. But there are a lot of things around, you know, cyber, when you think about cybersecurity.
Yes, yeah.
Inside an organization. So it's not easy to change, you know, in one day and say, hey, let's bring quantum there. So I think that those elements, plus if we look at, you know, a bigger really level, there is also a regulation issue here, because we will need to see how different, you know, regulation bodies will actually play that. We will have, you know, we have a specific standard that we have to follow. Think about, you know, the government bodies, for instance. Think about everything that has to do with, you know, about, you know, science organizations and so on. Do we need to have specific security, you know, regulation in place or not? So I will say that those are the elements that really need to, and you know, again, based on everything that Bob said, it's really right, you know, and an organization needs to look at those. Do I have, you know, enough, for instance, people understanding quantum in my organization? What are my actual, you know, implementation risks, and what are the actual implementation issues that I can address, for instance, with the post-quantum algorithm and with a solution like, you know, iron cap? What is, you know, do I need to wait for a regulation? Can I, you know, start playing with that, start offering on a, you know, small scale, and after that, you know, go at a full scale? So all those elements, I think, that are really important.
Yeah. I mean, there's some free, you know, demos and personal, free personal licenses on the IronCAP site that people can play with. But I think you're absolutely right. And Bob's hit on it as well. There's a massive human element to this, isn't there? This is not just about getting the technology right, but actually this is about getting leadership right, governance right, and actually process right, really. So,
it's totally right. And also keep in mind that, you know, we are moving through waves of, if you want, the way that technology is actually evolving. So we see now, we have seen a shift on the, you know, the cloud computing. Now we are seeing a shift on edge computing. So probably that also will be very, very interesting to see how those waves are actually, where I will apply quantum, you know, security. I have to apply it for all my devices. Do I have to apply it for the security, you know, at the server level? So that also will be an interesting game to, you know, to watch.
Yeah. And the whole social engineering, you know, in terms of cyber threat, I mean, I think the bulk can be accounted for by social engineering, can't it? And things like I mean, the Internet of Things is a good example, because people don't change their default passwords, do they? They just, you know, people get stuff out of the box, and even, you know, even sysadmins sometimes fall foul to that, don't they? So